Today I want us to talk about patterns, continuation patterns. And of course, we're going to talk about reversal patterns. But majorly today, I want us to concentrate on continuation pattern. Now, this is going to be, let me just say, a shortcut on analysis or how to analyze your market. Of course, we've talked about trend lines, but I want you to have a quick eye for you just, to identify continuation patterns. So that's the only thing you should be looking out for. So when you open your chart, for example, this is USD CHF. Now you want to look out for continuation pattern. I'm talking about bullish continuation patterns and bearish continuation patterns. Now, let me just give you example. Let's say that generally you just see that the market is moving up. All right. So what you need to do is identify a continuation pattern. So you need to identify something like this. Now this is a bullish flag. Remember, of course, you can add your trends, something like this and something like this. Now once you identify a trend, a continuation pattern just like this, then you go to the lower time frame. Of course, that is when you start looking for entry position. But remember, you can have this scenario. Let me just remove everything. We might have a continuation pattern like this, a mini version, or still in the process of being formed. But then when you have your trend something like this, probably, let's say we had something like the market or price started from this level. You see that your trend probably is passing through this level and we've not seen a touch. So when you have this kind of a scenario, I do recommend that you just let the market continue correcting itself until we touch the trend line. You might have price breaking out. Let me show you. You might have price breaking out somewhere around this level, then you see it's going up. But then it's kind of risky taking your entry right here because we still anticipate that there's a chance that price is going to touch this level. Now the safest way to take your entry will be this level. All right, so now that is based on the bullish continuation pattern. And at the same time, when identifying this continuation pattern, make sure there is a support and a resistance that the price is trying to bounce off. So if we have our support level right here, and of course we have our resistance level, something like this. Now we might see price doing this, or let's just say we might see price doing this, then price did this. Then now you see kind of a bullish continuation pattern. This is the case. Now when you see this kind of a play, just anticipate a break. Then that is when, after a retest, then that is when you take your position targeting all the way up. That is based on the bullish property. Now when we talk about bearish market, is the inverse or the reversal. Have price doing this, of course, then you see the market is doing this kind of a behavior. Now the only thing, like I said before, just identify this pattern. Once you get or you identify this pattern, then it's going to tell you what the market wants to do, whether it wants to go up or it wants to go down. So when you see this kind of a pattern, don't look for buys, just wait for breakout, take your sell position. But then remember, if we had a trend, like I said before, let's say we had a trend something like this, and you see the market's doing this, and probably there was another trend line right here, wait for the market to touch that trend line. That's when you take your sell position. Remember the bullish structure, I said it might break, then you see price going. Don't take that entry, just let the market reverse, hits your support level, that's when we execute. Now if we have our support level right here and our resistance level, of course something like this, and we see price doing this, did this, then started doing this. This is another continuation pattern, still the same bearish structure, bearish flag. So wait for the market to take out this level, retest, we execute. Now let me just tell you something once again. Now if we are anticipating a sell, we need to see how price is going to react around this support level. Okay, so we should be looking out for now a mini version also, of a continuation pattern, a bearish flag. Now let me just see if I can try to magnify this pattern. So let's have it like this and like this. So if we have this kind of a pattern, lower low, lower low, lower high, something like this. Now when price approaching this level, this support line or this trend line, I need you guys to make sure that you see a mini version of a bearish continuation pattern, something like this. Have your mini trend, something like that. Now if it breaks, of course anticipate a mini version of a retest, then take your entry the moment it takes out that low, something like this. Then of course target your level, but remember to have your take profit 1, take profit 2, and of course the final take profit. Now I do recommend that you take your entry the moment price breaks out of the bigger version of a bullish flag or a bearish flag, instead of waiting for price to come all the way here, then you see a mini version or another continuation pattern, then you take your entry. Is kind of risky because price still has a potential, it might respect a support. Let's say we had a support level right here, it might respect that support, then you see price going back, taking you out, then maybe continuing to the downside. Now let's just see if we can get a scenario in the live chart. Right, so when you open your chart, like I said before, the first thing you need to understand or look out for are just continuation pattern. Okay, so if we start our analysis based on the highest level or the lowest level, let's mark this level. We had a level right here, we can mark that level, and also we can mark this level. This is based on the daily. Now look at this, we have a trend right here, right there. Something like that. Now you see that's a bullish continuation pattern. So this just tells you that we had an impulse right here, correction or bullish flag. So we anticipate that price, is going all the way up. Just a minute. Just a minute, guys. Somebody saying is unable to join, and yet the link is working. Now remember, I told you that I do recommend that you take your entry the moment price takes out the big version of a continuation pattern and target the next level. This your first TP, like I said before, second TP right here, and of course the final TP right here. Now if you kind of look at this, if you took your entry right here, we should go to the lower time frame, just a minute, and you see if we were greedy, and of course we understand that price still has a potential of going to target that level. Now you see price just went, respected this level, then now went down, right? So now let's just continue. Remember I said, let me just have a resistance. We have a resistance level right there, and right here we still have another level right there. Now look out for continuation pattern. If you kind of zoom in, that is, look at this. We had a trend, something like this, and something like this. Now those are just continuation patterns. This is how we interpret impulse, correction. And remember, I told you, for you to take your entry, make sure that price approaches the resistance or support with another mini version of a continuation pattern. Now if you kind of look at this level, we have another mini version of a continuation pattern, so that's another good sign that price is ready to take a buy. So if you take your entry right there, remember your first TP has to be this level, because we have that where price respected, and of course second TP right there, and we have a final TP right there. Now just a minute. All right, so let's continue. So you see, if I bring this right here, you see we have another continuation pattern right here. Now I don't recommend you take your entry right here, because still price might, do this, then continue dropping. Now the reason why I'm saying that is this: if you kind of look at this, we might call this another trend right here, if I bring in that kind of a line. Now if you take an entry right here, you see that is almost at the resistance. So of course we see that the market or price went all the way up, but then that is kind of risky, because you never know, next time you won't be lucky, the market might hit this level, then you see pulling back to respect, or to continue this trend. So the best way is just let the price do its thing, then wait for it right there, the best price, then that's when we execute our entry all the way up. Now if you kind of look at this, let me show you. If you kind of look at this current market price, I might just call that continuation being formed, so something like this. All right, so this is the case. This case requires you to be patient. Let's do until it touches our support line, the way I just told you with the illustration. Then wait for another mini version of a continuation pattern right here before it breaks. That's when you execute, same as this level right here. That is based on the bullish. Now let's just try to see if we can get a bearish kind of or a trend. Let's try to see if we can have another pair. Any random pair. Oh, that was USD CHF, so anything that doesn't have CHF or the dollar. Let's try Aussie card. I'll remove this. Now, like I said before, the first thing you need to do, this is still a blow, but then I'll still repeat. Let's call this last low right here. And of course we see we had a level right here. This was a high. Now if you bring your trend, you see this is another continuation pattern, a bigger version one of a continuation pattern right there. Like I said before, we have an impulse right there, correction, so there's a possibility that price is going to target this high. Now remember how I say you should take ensure. Now this actually I never told you about two scenarios. If price just breaks with an impulse and anticipate a correction, that's when you take your entry. Just a minute. All right, now see right here version of a continuation pattern right there, but then remember this is based on the daily, don't worry. So let's say you took your entry, like I said before, your first TP should be this. The immediate high or the last high was this level right here. Then second TP of course right there, then of course the last TP should be here. Now remember, let me give you another scenario. If I move this, we have another continuation pattern here, right here. Now this is it, you see. Now I said the best place to take your entry is immediately you see price is breaking out the bigger version of a bullish flag or a bearish flag. Now if price is already gone, I do recommend you avoid that trade. Now look at this, we have this mini version of a continuation pattern. This is a bullish flag. Let me just hit replay tool. Right there. Now you see, I believe most people took their entry the moment it took that level, but remember I said price might be having, you know, or might be trying to respect trend. If you kind of see, we have a touch right here and another touch here, so it's kind of crazy taking a buy right here because price almost hitting a resistance level. So like I said before, try cloning this resistance or support, whichever that you'll be drawing that time, then make sure you have it right here, something like this. Then guess what, wait for price to pull back and kind of look at how price will be reacting around this support level. And remember, during this pullback, price will still be giving, you know, continuation pattern, something like this. And if it breaks, that's when you execute and target all the way up. Let's see. All right, so let me just have this right here. Now remember I said we are just looking out for continuation patterns. Now if you kind of look at these, might be making sense, something like this, something like this, you know, just wait for price to do his thing. That's when you execute your entry. And if you don't see a thing, don't do anything. Now you see the market kept on dropping, and of course this is an inverse head and shoulder. All right, now if you kind of look at this, remember guys, you're looking for continuation patterns, right? So if we had an inverse head and shoulder right here, left shoulder, head and right shoulder. Now on the right shoulder, price just gave us another chance. Guess what? A continuation pattern. That is what we were looking for right here. So that was just a chance that price was creating for us to take our entry, buy position. You see, it's kind of safe to take it right here. Then now you can target maybe the trend right there, and at the same time you might see that there was a level that price was trying to, you know, going back to respect or to retest, you know. Then you let price do his thing. That is another a continuation pattern, because after an impulse we anticipate a correction. We have a continuation pattern right there, and at the same time we see price giving us another new trend right there. So you see, now if you kind of look at these guys, let me just try to remove these ones. You see that price was giving us a trend. Now this is the kind of mistake that we just made actually, but of course you see we took an entry almost on that resistance level. We have a touch right here, we also had a touch right here. So because we never looked at that, that's why you see price of course is reversing. Like I said before, it's safer to take your entry at the support level, but of course we are still at the, you know, the highest time frame. This is daily time frame, and of course current market price, something like this. Somebody's raising hands. Who is this? Exclusive. What are you saying? Unmute your mic. Silas too. You can unmute.
I'm not saying it. I'm not raising my
Yeah, I
hand.
can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen, guys. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
I
I
can't
can.
see.
Yeah, I can see screen.
Then I don't know what's wrong with. What's that, Silas? I don't know. Maybe it's your internet
Yeah.
connection. But then don't worry. I'm recording my screen. I'll send you this video
Yeah,
once
I
I'm
can.
done.
I can't see the screen.
you can't see the screen, or you can see the screen now.
Okay.
I hope you guys just understood that.
I can't screen right now.
You can't see the screen, or you can see the screen. Are you seeing my screen?
No.
Maybe your internet connection, because everybody can see my screen.
Maybe it's due to connection problems.
Yeah, but don't worry, I'm still going to send you this video.
I think it's
Maybe it's on your end. Alright, now remember, we are looking for continuation pattern. Guys, price do give out these patterns each and every time. Look at this, we have this one, and we have this. So that's another continuation pattern. That's a bullish flag. And guess what's the last low right here? And we have a high right here. So there's that possibility that price, is going to retest this high. Now if you kind of look at this level right here, we might consider this as a support right here. And if you kind of look at this properly, this is also another continuation pattern right there, something like that. Now those are just bullish flag. Now let me interpret impulse, correction, then it broke out, then guess what, a bigger version of a correction, then we anticipate price to continue going all the way. And remember, we don't need to be greedy. Your first TP, in fact your first TP should be this level, and final TP should be this level right here. So I keep on saying, understand price is approaching sub or resistance. If we see we had an impulse right here, then there was that rejection, and we see we have this kind of a break. So that's when you take your entry, or just wait for a mini continuation pattern. We can see, let me remove this. We can see we also had another one right here, something like this, and that was broken. So we anticipate price will go all the way up. But then remember guys, before we take our entry, make sure that we've introduced trends so that we don't fall for anything. We don't want to be in the wrong side of the market. So make sure you bring it and make sure entry on the support level. If we are buys, support level should be a good place to take your buy. Should be on the resistance. But then of course I've not seen any sell market. Don't worry, we are going to analyze that. So of course we have another support, a resistance level right here. That's why we see we had this bullish flag right here. This one, impulse correction right here, then you see it broke. Remember, this is based on the daily. So if we were on the lower you can see how price approached them. Probably we might have secured our entry position. Let's see, based on the H1. Now we should be looking for buy position the H1. Now if you look at the H1 right here, we had so many continuation patterns just to tell us that take your buy position. We have this another continuation pattern, something like that. Then guess what, price gave us another opportunity right here, broke. Then don't worry guys, we will talk about entry position as time goes by. For now we are talking about patterns, continuation pattern, then have your entry right there. Now another thing guys, I don't want you to make your stop loss below right here, because there's a possibility price might take you out before going to your anticipation. Now once you have mini version of a continuation pattern right here, I do recommend that you have your stop loss below the flag, somewhere around that level. Of course this is new, so don't have a problem with that week. But then remember, this happened before we had another continuation pattern right here. Now if you kind of look at this level right here, we also had another continuation pattern, but then I say the best place to take your entry is after the bigger version of continuation pattern has been broken. So we have an impulse correction, then price went with an impulse, gave out a correction, then it took out. Then that was the best place to take your buy position, then target your trend line right here, something like this. Now if you kind of look at this, price do give out so many opportunities. This is another continuation pattern right here. This is another bullish flag right there. But then guess what, this time around just with an impulse, so we don't take any buy entry position. This is just an impulse, so all you need to do, wait for price to give out another continuation pattern, then we execute. Now let's go to the 15. Seems like this might be a signal actually. All right, so since this is the live market, we need to adjust because we don't want to miss out on any level, guys, something like that. So you see, we only had an impulse. Price just broke out of our resistance line. This is our resistance line, the one I'm talking about, this trend line right here. That's our resistance line. So it just broke out with an impulse. Okay, so we never had any correction. Now if that never happened, if price did this, if it went and then started giving us a rejection, something like this, then broke, we could have taken a buy entry immediately. Then that's when, of course, first TP should be this level. But since that never happened, we just saw an impulse. So right now, all we need to do, Aussie USD for action, another bullish flag. So we see we can adjust, identify our levels, key levels, something like this probably, because we anticipate price might, do this somewhere around that level, something like this. Then once again wait for, let me just have it nice. In fact, it might do this, I believe, something like this, something like this. Yeah, I think something like that. So we might see maybe from tomorrow Aussie USD doing this, respecting this trend line, something like this. And guess what, when price hits this resistance level, we need another continuation pattern, a smaller one. And then if it breaks, make sure you make your entry right there. And like I said before, don't have your stop loss right here. Price is crazy, might take you out before going direction. I prefer having it below our continuation pattern. And if you kind of see, we still have levels, support level that has been respected, so you might be safe below this there, something like that. Let's just have it right here. And if it breaks with an impulse, anticipate a smaller version, then we execute. No, so Aussie USD, I think I'm going to have this on my watch list, then of course target this one. Is looking good, so we just have a signal actually next week trades. Makes sense. So let me add this to my watch list. Now this is just based on the bullish market. So I want to look out for bearish market. Now before we talk about bearish market, until there anybody has any question, let me hear. If you have any question, let me know. You guys are
I
good.
don't care.
Huh?
Don't care. Question.
Any question? You guys are good. All your mics are mute, so I can't hear you.
Yeah, good, no question.
Let's see. let's try to see if we can get a bearish market.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sorry. I entered a bit late, so I really didn't get it because you were only talking about continuation, and although, like I said, I've not really understood the whole thing. So I don't know if you can just repeat just a bit, a slight bit, please.
Yeah, no
If it's
problem.
possible.
Of course, I'm not yet done with the continuation part. That was based on the bullish market, so I want to talk about bearish market, and it's just the same thing. So, and at the same time,
Okay.
yeah, at the same time, I'm still recording the screen, so I'm just going to send you the video once done, for your reference.
Oh, okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. So let's find bearish market.
That USD,
USD
I
ZAR.
think. Yeah.
She's moving this,
Oh, no good.
but still on an uptrend though. I want to analyze a bearish market. Let me try to see if I can get one. Oh, this is NZDCHF. Okay, let's see. Mm. Bearish market right here. Okay, so see if we can analyze. Okay, this is a bullish one, but then it's still a bigger version of a continuation pattern though. So like I said before, the first thing you need to identify are just continuation patterns. So this time we're looking for bearish patterns. Price went all the way down, then started doing this kind of a behavior, then we wait for a break, then we take our entry position. Now something like this, we have this bigger version, something like this, right? So remember I said we need to understand how price, is going to break around our level or our resistance level. Now let's understand what price did right here. If you can add this, we add another continuation pattern right here, something like this. Just a minute. Before that, let me hit the replay tool. So we see price went down, then did this, then did that. So we need this kind of a bearish flag, then we should take our sell position. If we were on the lowest time frame, let's see, maybe something like that. Okay, now just a minute, all right, now look at this. Remember I said, let me have it right here. I said we should look for this kind of pattern, a smaller continuation pattern, then if it breaks, we must execute. Now if you kind of look at this level, yes, it broke, then it gave us another continuation pattern. Now for us to take a sell position, wait for the smaller version of a continuation, and if it breaks, we execute. Or if it gives us an impulse, we should wait for a smaller version of a continuation pattern, then that's when we take our sell position. But you see, it kind of just broke with an impulse, so we should wait for a smaller version, and if that doesn't happen, we don't take our entry. And you see, just went all the way up, but then guess what, gave us a bigger version of a continuation pattern, as we saw. All this time we should be waiting for confirmation. right there, something like this. If you kind of look at this level, let me try to zoom. Let's have it right here. So you see we have a mini version. I don't know if you guys can see that. We see it broke, then did this, then started playing around here, then that's when it broke. So that was a good opportunity for a sell entry, and of course targeting this level. Last level should be this. Let's see. We just look out for continuation patterns. Now I said it's better to take your entry the moment price takes out the bigger version of a continuation pattern, right? Like here, right here, instead of taking your entry. Even if it starts giving us another continuation pattern right here, I won't take an entry because price still has an opportunity to go and retest this level right here. Actually I'm seeing we had another confirmation right there. That's a double top, then of course correction. So let's see if price went to retest this level, and if we get a continuation, then that's a confirmation for us to take our entry. I won't take that because I needed price to retest this support level. It just broke and never retested. So let's see. So you see, if you took your sell position right here, of course, then had your stop loss above, of course price was to take you out. Price had a potential of going back to retest this resistance level. Of course that was support turned to a resistance, and guess what, let's look out for another continuation pattern. Let's have this right here, something like this. Okay, we had something like that. Okay, no problem. And we kind of see we had another chance right here. Oh, all right there, and it did give us, I don't know if we was at the lowest time frame. I don't know if we had something like this, a smaller version, but if we had that at the lowest time frame, of course you could have taken your entry right there and targeted right here. Not bad. And your second TP should have been this level right here, and if you are a swing trader, it should have targeted all the way to this level right there. So you see this was first take profit was hit, and remember we have a level right here that price has not yet retested. I'm going to ignore this level because if you look at this level, price has respected or has tried to retest this level for a while, and you kind of see that it just broke with an impulse. Yes, you took your sell position, but then I'm still anticipating this kind of a pullback or a continuation pattern for good sell entry position. So even if I see price is going all the way down, I'm not going to take any sell position, just to be on the safer side. Okay, it went all the way down, no problem, but then no problem already. That was over 200 pips. Even though I see we had another continuation pattern, no problem. Retesting this level, no problem though. But you kind of see, guys, the same thing that I'm just talking about. If you see that the moment price approached our support trend line right here, it gave us this kind of a pattern. It went, then gave us a mini version of a continuation pattern. Those are the things that you should be looking out for now. If it breaks, that's when you take your entry position. Until there, guys, any question?
Nah, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Now, let me give out illustration before we call it a day. Now, if I was talking about bullish continuation pattern, this is it. Remember, I said let the market go up, then identify this kind of a move. This is a bullish flag, something like this. Have your trend line drawn right there and right there. Now, for you to take your entry, make sure that price gives a mini version of a continuation pattern, a mini version of a bullish flag, something like this. That's when you take your entry. Only if it breaks, then of course your first TP has to be the the immediate high right here, second TP right here, and of course final right there. Remember, of course your stop loss has to be below that flag. But remember, if price just breaks out, let's just have this scenario without giving us that kind of a pattern. If it just breaks out, anticipate or wait for another continuation pattern right there, smaller one. But if you see it's approaching a resistance, wait for a smaller one once again. Then if it breaks, you take your entry position. But remember, make sure you are taking your entry only at the support. If you're looking for buys at the support, let's just say we had something like this at the support, make sure you take your entry right there. Don't take your entry right here, because there's a possibility that price might respect your trend, then that's when takes you out before going to your anticipated direction. Now that is on the bullish type of a market. Now if you're looking for bearish market, let's say price did this, then look out for this kind of a pattern, continuation pattern. This is called a bearish flag. Have your trend drawn around that level, have it right there. Now for you to take your entry, let the market or price touch your support level, then respect it, giving it a smaller version of a bearish flag continuation somewhere around that. And if it breaks, that's when you take your sale position, targeting the immediate one as your first TP, something like that. Or if it doesn't give that kind of a pattern, you see price just drops and breaks out of your support level, wait for a smaller continuation pattern, something like this. Once again, you can have your smaller trend line drawn right there and wait for the smallest continuation pattern once again right there. Then if it breaks, then that's when you take your sell position. And guess what, don't have your stop loss above where price reversed from. Have your stop loss above the smaller bearish flag. Then of course right, and make sure that you have your trend, and make sure that you take your sell position only when price hits this resistance level. I hope you guys got that. Any question before we call it a day?
Good.
All right, I hope you guys are okay. So I'm going to send each and every one of you this session recording for reference, and keep on practicing, guys. So let's call it a day, guys. See you on Wednesday.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay.